Hi everybody, welcome to another new episode of New Start Monday Knits. I'm Louise from Wildflower Wool and thanks for joining me. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. What I am doing with these videos, every Monday I'm starting a brand new project, and that's right, I'm going to have 50 new starts this year and hopefully some finishes along the way as well. So let's jump right in. Last week I was showing you some mitts I was making that were knit flat. This one here was in progress when we chatted last week, and as you can see, it's finished. This is a child's mitt, knit flat, using some of this really fun Scandi ferrule. I want to call it striping, ferrule striping. How do you call that? It just knits up. You just knit and the pattern shows up. Easy peasy. This is a really nice acrylic-y yarn that I really like. I'm glad that I stocked up on it because they don't seem to be carrying it right now. Anyways, maybe they'll bring it back, but it's really nice. If you can find some, you might want to grab some. But isn't that cute how the pattern? I like how it just by chance got a little bit of a stripe on the cast on in the first couple of rows. So what did I do? I just did a knit one, purl one. This is from that same pattern that I showed last week, the quick and simple mitt pattern that I found at Michael's. Knit flat and then seamed up along the edge. I seamed up using mattress stitch, and I like how this one turned out better than the first orange and yellow one. I kind of used their weaving instructions in the book and I didn't care for it. So I just a regular mattress stitch, and I think it turned out much nicer. So anyways, so I have one done. So I have to do cast on the other. But before I could cast on the mate to this one, I got distracted, believe it or not, by another mitten pattern. One of my friends who watches these videos, she sent me a translated pattern that she knits in Norwegian for a garter stitch mitten knit flat. So I got a new pattern. I immediately had to cast on. So I knit this over the weekend. And you know, I kind of like it. At first I wasn't so sure if I would like the garter stitch or not, but I kind of do. It's kind of growing on me. It's different, right? Because you don't expect to see a mitt done in garter stitch usually. Anyways, I'll give you the details on this one. It is knit holding 2 strands of sock yarn together. So I grabbed 2 balls of Patton's Croy off my shelf from my stash. And look at this, it's almost gone, but I've got the one full mitt. So this is an adult size. It fits me pretty good. I might make the thumb a round or 2 longer on the next mitt. One mitt done. Mitt number 2 partially done. I've got my markers in here. I'm starting the increases for the thumb. And I'm liking it. It's really kind of a fun knit. And you know what I'm finding interesting is I feel like I'm on the quest to find the best mitten pattern. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is taking bits and pieces of each pattern and kind of combining them to make the mitten that I think I like the best. I'm still not sure about stockinette versus the garter stitch. I'm not going to worry about deciding on that yet. But the difference in these mitts, let's look at the finished ones. Obviously, besides this is a child and this is an adult. But the shaping at the top, I think I prefer this shaping. I like this. As I was knitting this, I thought I really did like this because it's not real pointy, but there's just enough of a nice rounded decrease there. And I kind of like that. This one here was knit. Once you finished the thumb, you carried on straight basically until the last 3 rows, and then it was just knit 2 together all the way around across, knit around, and then knit 2 together, and that was it. So it leaves it a little more bulky up here. We don't have that nice narrowing in. And when I look at the mitt, I don't find it as aesthetically pleasing. Is that what I want to say? And I was worried that when I put it on, it would be too bulky around here, but you know what? It's not. And once it's on, I mean, it still kind of has a square look to it, but it fits nice, and there's really not too much extra bulk in here like I thought there would be. So I'm pleasantly surprised about that. But for the look of the mitt, I think I like this one. But let's talk about the thumbs. The thumbs are knit a little differently. On this pattern book, it tells you to do the cuff, and then you do your increases for the gusset, which is what I'm working on right here. Can you see? You can kind of start to see right here, there's a bit of an increase. Then on this pattern, it tells you to knit the thumb right away, which I like because I think that's what gets, or kind of gives mitten knitting a bad rap, is that whole thing. You have to come back and do the thumbs. You get the whole body done, then you have to come back, and normally when you knit in the round, you have to pick up stitches, and that's just kind of fiddly, and that's where some people kind of get put off making mitts. But this pattern, you'd make the thumb right away, then you cast on a couple of extra stitches and finish the body. So the thumb's done right off the bat. I like that. This one here, the translated pattern from Norway, it had you do the thumb gusset, then you left the thumb and did the body and came back. But I just continued on the way the other mitten was done and did the thumb right away because I like getting it done and out of the way. But the gusset increases, I've always pretty much done them the way they were done on this mitt, which is where you do an increase in the gusset, the next row is a plain, then so basically every other row you're increasing for your gusset, increasing these gusset stitches for your thumb. And that's pretty much how I've always done all my mitts. Even when I've wrote my patterns, I've done that, alternating, knit around, then you knit around and increase between your markers. This one here, you increased every fourth row. So you did an increase row, then you did 3 plain rounds, and then you did another increase. And I kind of like that because it gives you a lot more room. And what I would normally do on my regular mitt is once I did the cuff, I would add in about at least probably 4 rounds of plain knitting before I started doing the thumb increases, or what I call in the gusset, the thumb increases. But on this one, you're starting and you've got those extra rows already built in as you're doing the increasing. And I think I like that. So I might see a pattern coming soon using this kind of thumb increase with this kind of finger decreases. I don't know. What do you guys think? What are your ideas? What are your comments? What do you think of the garter stitch for starters? You can see where I've seamed it up. And it's kind of twisted. It's not exactly on the side. Maybe I can fix that. There, that looks a little better. So there's the seam right up the side. What do you think about the garter? Can you see, can you feel and look how squishy it is? It is really kind of nice and squishy. 2 yarns held together with sock yarn. I kind of like the squishiness. Anyways, and what do you think about doing the thumb right off the bat, right after the cuff, get the thumb done and out of the way? I really kind of like that. I think I would like to do that when I knit mitts in the round again too. Anyways, I am still really hooked on mitts. I had to stop myself from finishing this one just so you could see it in the flat. Maybe I should post a picture. Maybe next week when we do the video, I'll show a picture or have one done with the thumb finished. It looks a little odd, but I like how it knits up. Anyways, that's it for mittens right now. Anybody else making mittens right now? Great summer project, even though it kind of goes against everything you're thinking when you're at the beach and you're enjoying the sun and you're making mittens. I know it's kind of plays with your head a little bit. Anyways, that was last week's new start. Loving them. I'm going to keep working on them this week. Actually, that was really 2 weeks ago's new start, and I've just kept going with them. Last week's new start with socks. Oops, got my yarns all tangled here. Self-striping sock yarn. I cast this one on from Knit Picks, and I love it. The colorway is called Harvest. And I got to tell you, these stripes are amazing. I don't want to put it down. Look at. I know. I always do this. I spend way too much time admiring my knitting, and I would get a whole lot more done if I would just knit instead of stop looking at these stripes. But look at the colors. I mean, there's the yellow, then it goes into the green, and then kind of like a melony color and 2 shades of a red and a rust. And like, I'm in love with it. I had it at knitting tonight, and that's what some of the girls were saying, that I could not have had a better color for me. I love it. It's super soft. It's fantastic. I love it. So I've been working on that this week. And, oh, I should show you this bag. I've been carrying it around in this really fun bag. I don't know if any of you are bag makers out there, but this was a gift from one of my students that was in a Learn to Knit class. And it's all these stripes. She's a quilter. And she came back after one class, and she had struggled with her knitting, so she didn't have a whole lot of knitting done, but she had made bags for all of us. And aren't they fun? Just little odds and ends pieces sewn together in kind of this funky shape with a ribbon on. Anyways, I love it. It's a fun bag, and it works perfect for keeping a 50-gram ball of sock yarn in your sock in progress. Works great. So I'm going to keep working on that. And this week's new start, I was really debating. I spent all day today thinking about what is going to be my new start. I was kind of thinking, I've been doing socks and mitts the last little while. I should switch it up. I should add in a bigger project here. But you know what? I couldn't bring myself to do it. And this is what I pulled off my shelf. More self-striping sock yarn. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a kick right now on socks, and I'm loving them. So I'm just going to keep going with it. And also tonight at Knit Night, my friend Amanda, I know we've talked about her on our Friday night live video Knit Nights, how she is joining in the Fiber Friends self-striping sock knit along on Ravelry. And she has set a personal challenge for herself to do 14 pairs. Because we started back a few weeks ago, we had the cowl is going for 14 weeks. So she's going to try to do a pair every week. I don't know if she'll do it or not, but so far she's pretty close to being on track. And anyway, so I thought, I want to see how many I can get done. So I think I'm just going to keep going with this. And look at these colors. They're not really my colors. There's some green in there. That's what makes it my color, I guess. But I'm loving this. The purple, the green, the teal. It's going to be fabulous. I'm going to start these on 40-inch cord, 2.25. I'm going to have to switch to Magic Loop because I think all my DPNs are in use. So which means I'm going to have to get some socks finished. Anyways, guys, that is what I'm going to be working on this week. So if you're inspired and want to knit along with me, if you want to start something on Mondays with me, post it on Instagram, use the hashtag #NewStartMondayKnits, and then I'll be able to see what you're working on. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then you won't miss any of these New Start videos, and you can cheer me along, knit along with me. I feel like I'm working through my stash by starting something new, because you can't finish it if you don't start it. So I think that's it for this week, guys. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you back here again next week. Have a great week in knitting, and cast something on and knit with me. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.